In just a few hours, futures are supposed to open, but as many of you guys have heard, things are escalating in the Middle East. This is everything that you need to know. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. So first off, if you guys did not see, BTC dropped below 68,000. If you guys can see it here, it's right now trading at lows of 67,900, especially coming from highs of the 76,000 that we were at just a few days ago. A really sharp retracement back to previous oversold levels. Now, the question is, why exactly is this happening? Let's go ahead and talk about it. Bitcoin extends losses and falls below 68,000 as President Trump's deadline for Iran to open up the Strait of Hormuz is now 26 hours away. For those that don't understand what we mean by that, is that Iran has already responded to Trump's threat. So Trump gave them pretty much an ultimatum within 48 hours that if they don't open it up, they're going to start attacking Iran like they've never seen it before. Trump's words. Iran is now threatening to fully close the Strait of Hormuz, strike energy, water, and IT infrastructure across all the Middle East, and their military has officially shifted from defense to offense. They say that they have enough reserves to last them a full year. Now again, the markets do not like this response. Remember, markets will sell off anytime that there is uncertainty. Think back to all the tweets that Trump has said just even a few days ago, insinuating that, oh, the Iran war is officially over. But guess what? Things are still escalating. How can we say that things are beginning to cool down when we just sent another 2,500 Marines to the Middle East? And now we're asking the Pentagon for $200 billion for the war in Iran? But I thought you said that things were starting to cool off. It just doesn't add up. And I think this inconsistency is what a lot of people are not appreciating. I mean, you're seeing it all over social media where, again, there's a difference between Republicans and people that follow someone blindly as MAGA, right? It's really important to acknowledge that you might have voted for someone, but it doesn't mean that you have to blindly support them, especially when you can see that there's inconsistencies with what they're saying. President Trump over the last 36 hours. On Friday, I don't want to do a ceasefire with Iran. And then again, just literally an hour and a half later, the U.S. is considering winding down the war with Iran. And then again, 24 hours later, Trump is planning on peace talks. Now today, saying if Iran doesn't open up the Strait of Hormuz within 48 hours, we will obliterate Iran's power plant. It's like you literally sound insane. And just look into the comment section. You will see firsthand how people will try to support this type of inconsistency because they just can't get off their knees when it comes down to Trump, and they will blindly follow him and support him regardless of what he does. This is the part that just doesn't make sense to me. Just because you voted for someone doesn't mean that you have to blindly agree with every decision that they make. Even the people that you love most in your life, you never agree with them 100%. Why would you do this for a man that you've never met? It's very hypocritical to me. Nonetheless, breaking Iran responds to President Trump's threat within 48 hours to obliterate Iran's power plants. So Iran responded and says that they will completely close it. Iran has hit vital infrastructures and will hit vital infrastructures within the Middle East. This includes energy, IT, and water desalination facilities. Iran's senior military commander says that the country's military strategy has shifted from defensive to offensive. Iranian officials say that the country has enough reserves for essentially up to 1 year. Trump's deadline was 33 hours away from that update. Again, this is what markets do not like. And what do we have in store for this week? This week on Tuesday, we have service PMI report, manufacturing PMI, and then we have jobless claims as in initial claims and continuing claims on Thursday, and then the consumer sentiment report on Friday. So not a huge major economic event, but there's definitely more uncertainty based off of the updates that we are currently receiving from the Middle East. So again, you can see that the Trump administration is feeling the pressure. Oil prices are going up and Americans are hurting. And that's the story that I really want you to understand about all of this, is that if there really is a ceasefire, if there really is a de-escalation, that's all really the markets would need. Oil prices will begin to drop. and markets should naturally begin to recover. We talked about this yesterday, right? We talked about what companies have seen a significant downturn, and all they would need is really a de-escalation. Oil prices will drop, and airlines as well will begin to recover as they've taken huge hits, like many people. 20 to 30% of their expenses is oil. The big concern right now for the Federal Reserve is oil because of what it's going to contribute to our inflation. Right? It was expected that the Federal Reserve was going to cut rates for 2026. Now there's a possibility for even a rate hike. And it's not just in the US, this is happening all over the world, where even the European Central Bank, they're expecting 2 rate hikes by the end of 2026. So again, we went from possibly cutting rates, which is bullish for the market, right? You make things cheaper to borrow, you make money cheaper to borrow. And now the idea of possibly raising rates makes things more expensive, contracting, slowing down the economy. That is not a good sign, especially when, remember, the way that the stock market is performing is not a representation of how the average American is doing. The economy is not a representation, or the stock market is not a representation of our overall economy, especially not how the average American is doing. We have seen that consumer sentiment and consumer spending is down and projected to be down for 2026. This is simply injecting more uncertainty. But again, what are some things to look for? Actual signs of de-escalation. If we actually see Trump follow through with de-escalating and no more further escalations, markets have every reason to recover. But if things continue to, escalate, then you can't be surprised for a further downturn. So that would be the biggest thing to look out for. We talked about what it takes to be able to invest and buy the dip as markets are currently down. And remember, the reason that we talked about not being too aggressive or not over leveraging yourself with that initial buy is simply due to the idea that things can get worse before they get better. But for some people, they're a good enough deal that they might be worth buying now just in case there is a de-escalation. By that time, markets are bound to recover, and it might be too late to be invested as they might have already recovered to previous all-time highs. So again, you guys let me know down in the comment section what you think. Are we going lower, or are markets expected to recover this week? I do plan to talk about it a little bit more, especially if you're part of my LPP team. I'm going to be going live with them tomorrow as markets open and to see if we see a gap down or a gap up. But remember, it's always just one tweet away from Trump for markets to recover. So please make sure that if you are shorting the market, when in doubt, never be afraid to cash out, especially because you know how irrational and how desperate markets are to recover. So I'll see you tomorrow for our live trading session. If you ever want to tune on in, it's the second link down below. Appreciate your guys' time. Like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take care, team.